Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Shahirah binti Muhammad Yusof from K4 ACT3103. My metric number is S58493. For this individual assignment, I choose to answer the question for case 2. So this is the information regarding the question from case 2. This is the market price of the motor vehicle and the upfront payment of the motor vehicle, which is 44,000 ringgit, and the installment each year, which is also 44,000 ringgit. To calculate the finance charge, we must total the installment for the period of 5 years. To get the total, we times the year, 5 years, and the installment, which is 44,000, and we will get 220,000, and market price of motor vehicle 200,000. To get the total finance charge, subtract the market price from the total of the installment, and we will get the total finance charge of 2,000 ringgit. The initial payment negative 2,000 ringgit plus 44,000 ringgit of upfront payment, and we will get negative 156,000 ringgit for the initial payment. For the year 2019 until 2022, we put the figure of 44,000 ringgit each year for the installment payment. We can get the all the figure from the information given above. To calculate the effective interest rate, we will use the IRR given and took all the figure above, and we will get the effective interest rate of 5.01%. Next is list receivable schedule. From this we have opening balance of RM 200,000 ringgit from the market price of the motor vehicle, interest income, lease payment, and the closing balance. The lease payment is RM 44,000 ringgit, the same amount every year. To get the closing balance, we will add the opening balance and interest income and minus the lease payment and get the closing balance of 156,000 ringgit. The closing balance will be the new opening balance for the next year. For year 1, opening balance will be 156,000 ringgit. Interest income, the opening balance times the interest income, which is 5.01%. The interest income for year 1 will be 7,809 and 0.39. We will use the same total from the same figure. Closing balance will be the opening balance for the next year. Interest income 5.01% times by 119,809.39, and the same steps as before until year 4. After done, we total the interest income and it will become 20,000 ringgit, and for the lease payment, the total will be 220,000 ringgit. Next question, C, is the journal entry of the lessor. The first one is the date of the sale of motor vehicle. We will debit cash and credit revenue amounting to 100,000 ringgit taken from the market price of the motor vehicle. Next, we will debit cost of sale and credit inventory from the cost of sale 120,000 ringgit. Second is to recognize the receivable of hire purchase. We will debit lease receivable and credit cash and unearned finance income. For the cash, we will take the amount of the market price of the motor vehicle, which is 200,000. And the unearned finance income, we will take the 20,000 of the total interest income. Receivable will be the amount of 200,000 plus 20,000 ringgit. The third one is to record upfront payment, lease payment from customer. We will debit cash and credit lease receivable. The cash will be 44,000 ringgit from the upfront payment figure. And the fourth one is to recognize the interest income at effective interest rate. Firstly, we will debit unearned finance income and credit interest income. For year 1, we take the figure from question B, which is 7,809.39 to decimal places. And next, we will debit cash and credit lease receivable amounting 44,000 ringgit. The same step is used for at the end of year 2, at the end of year 3, and at the end of year 4. The figure is taken from the lease receivable schedule from the year 2 for journal for year 2. And next, debit cash and credit lease receivable, also 44,000 ringgit each year. The same amount because that is the installment amount. At the end of year 3 and at the end of year 4 is the same, taken from the lease receivable schedule, the debit and finance income and credit interest income. The end of year 4 is also the same as above, debit and finance income and credit interest income. And next, debit cash and credit lease receivable. That's all for question for case 2. Thank you.